Now, Oldschool Runescape is really a game about accomplishments, grinding out the highest level stats, acquiring the most powerful gear in the game, and completing some of the most prestigious achievements. And because everything in this game takes so long, there are certain items that are incredibly rare, and some items that are only owned by a handful of players because they are so rare. So if you're walking around Gielinor, what exactly is the rarest item that you are least likely to see in the entire game? Well, as a baseline, I think a lot of people would think the max cape. The max cape is given out once you have acquired level 99 in every skill in the game, and that can take thousands of hours. For most players, it's going to take 3,000 or 4,000 hours at the minimum on their first account. Obviously, it can be done quicker, but it is still a massive time investment. Now, as of the beginning of June, the total amount of players that are eligible to get the cape are 26,068, which means if you have a max cape in this game, you've joined a pretty prestigious club of around 26,000 players. So pretty rare, but that is by far not the rarest item in this game. Now, another really incredibly rare item to own is the large spade. Now, the large spade is a fun weapon that is obtained by doing clue scrolls. Specifically, you need to complete 500 easy clue scrolls. Now, the giant spade serves no purpose. It's only rare because of how time consuming it is to complete clue scrolls. While easies are pretty quick, they're not done as often as medium clue scrolls, which means the general population isn't doing this too much, and most people who are going for 500 easy clue completions probably are doing so just for the large spade. Now, the total population of this item currently is 6,308, and we can guarantee that that's pretty accurate because you automatically get it for completing your 500th clue scroll, which means everyone will just get it by default. Now, in a similar vein, we have another item called the heavy casket. Now, the heavy casket is obtained by completing 200 elite clue scrolls, and similarly, not many people do these. I mean, recently they did get a bit of a change to make them a bit more appealing, but elite clues have normally been viewed as kind of a meme, and most people don't really do them, they just turn them into master clues. So because of this, the total population of players that have a heavy casket is just a bit over 4,000, making it an incredibly rare item. Now, what really goes to show how unappealing elite clue scrolls are is there's also a rare reward for completing master clues, the scroll sack, but around 10,000 people have that one actually, making it more common than the heavy casket. Now, another incredibly rare item is the Champion's Cape. Now, not only is this kind of an obscure piece of content, but to get the Champion's Cape is also incredibly time consuming. To acquire it, you need to complete the Champion's Challenge, which requires you to obtain a bunch of incredibly rare Champion Scrolls. There are 11 Champion Scrolls in total, and they are dropped at a rate of 1 out of 5,000, and from some kind of obscure monsters as well, including stuff like Jogers, Earth Warriors, Ghouls, and Lesser Demons, things that most players are not killing very often. Once you've gone ahead and acquired all of the Champion Scrolls and defeated all the champions, you can get the Champion's Cape. Now, there's no exact figure for how many people have done this, but back in 2019, there was around 1,100 players who had acquired it. So 2.5 years later, if I had to make a guess, I would say less than 2,000 players have the Champion's Cape. Now, another incredibly rare item in Old School are League trophies, and the rarest of them all are the Dragon trophies. Now, these could only be obtained by competing in RuneScape leagues. Now, of the 3 leagues that have been run, the least popular of them all was the first one, mainly because not many people knew about it at the time. Now, of all the league-related trophies, the Twisted Dragon trophy is the rarest, and Twisted League had the lowest population of players. The total amount of players that were eligible to get the Dragon Trophy are 1,103. And one thing that makes this item even rarer is you can never get this item again. It is essentially discontinued. One of the few discontinued items in this game. Unlike the other league rewards, which can be purchased later once future leagues are released and you earn more points, the trophies are unique to the league and can never be earned again, which means 1,100 Twisted Dragon trophies are all there will ever be, and I mean, there could even be less over time if accounts get banned, people destroy them for some reason, so yeah, an incredibly rare item. Now, until this point, pretty much all of the items I've mentioned are rare simply because they are incredibly time consuming to obtain. But one item that kind of breaks the trend here is the Zuck Slayer Helm. Now, this item is rare partly because it's a pretty new item, only releasing in the last 6 months or so, but more so it's just an incredibly difficult item to obtain from a gameplay perspective. The Zuck Slayer Helm requires you to complete the Grandmaster tier of the combat achievements, and there are some incredibly difficult challenges on there. Just super difficult challenges such as defeating the Inferno with melee, completing a perfect Theater of Blood, killing the Alchemical Hydra with Duroxon. I mean, there's just a lot of hard stuff here. Not to mention you have to complete all the other combat achievements as well to get the Zuk Slayer helm. Now there is no official number tracking how many Zuk helms are in the game, but if I were to make a guess, I would say less than 1,000. Over time this will certainly go up, but for now it is definitely one of the most prestigious items in Old School. Now next up here we have an item called the Sennheiser Shroud Tier 5. This item is a completionist cape that is earned by completing 2,000 Theater of Blood raids. 2,000 Theater of Bloods is an astronomical amount and will most likely take you hundreds if not 1,000 hours to earn the item. The item is so rare that even after its release it took multiple months until a single person had earned it, simply because 2,000 is just so many raids. Currently the total amount of people who have earned the Sennheiser Shroud Tier 5 is about 950, definitely making it one of the rarest items in Old School Runescape. Now, Old School Runescape was designed to not have any discontinued items in the game, but with that said, there are a few that have been created semi-unintentionally that have become incredibly rare. One of the rarest of them all is the Bounty Hunter hats. Now, Bounty Hunter hats were obtained by participating in Bounty Hunter, and the rarest one of all is the Tier 6 hat that required you to kill 2,500 Bounty Hunter targets. Now, this item would be incredibly rare in the best of times, but what makes this kind of unique, and the reason it is technically a discontinued item right now, is Bounty Hunter's gone. I mean, they removed it. So although the shop is still open and you can spend Bounty Hunter points, there is no way to get more, which means for all intents and purposes, this item is unobtainable now, which means unless Bounty Hunter ever gets reworked or added back in, the total population of players that can earn this is not ever going to go up. And this item's rare. There's only 503 people who have ever killed enough players in Bounty Hunter to earn this hat, which means there's roughly only 500 in the game. Now, another incredibly rare item or achievement is something that's actually been in the game for over 15 years, and that is having a Castle Wars Armor 3 built in your armor space in your POH. Now, why is this so rare? Well, because you need all of the decorative gold Castle Wars armor, which is super time consuming and serves no purpose besides, well, flexing on your friends, I guess. Or maybe I just described all of RuneScape, I'm not sure. So how long does it take to earn yourself a full set of gold decorative? Well, probably around 300 hours. Earning Castle Wars tickets is an incredibly time-consuming process. Not that many people play Castle Wars, and the gold decorative is incredibly expensive, which means it definitely is one of the rarest items in this game. Now, the total population for this item is not known, but I would make a guess at under 300. Okay, so now we're making a pretty big jump down to one of the rarest items in all of Old School, and that is the Zaryte Champion. The Zaryte Champion is kind of similar to the Sennheiser Shroud, but it's much rarer because you need to complete 2,000 Chambers of Zaryte in challenge mode, which not only is challenge mode raids a lot newer of an addition, it's also more time consuming to get kill count there. 2,000 Chambers of Zaryte in challenge mode has actually only been achieved by 48 players, which means there are under 50 players in this entire game that have this item, which certainly makes it one of the rarest items in this game. Now, next up here we have the only tradable item on this list, and that is the Burnt Oomlie Wrap. A very odd one, but surprisingly rare actually. The Burnt Oomlie Wrap is only obtainable via a bug. I'm not sure what that bug is, nobody knows except for a very select few people. But first up, why is something so mundane so rare? Now, burnt oomlie wraps are a bit of an oversight in how cooking progression was designed. The oomlie wrap can't be cooked until level 50 cooking, but by the time you get to 50 cooking, you no longer can burn it, which means in theory, the burnt oomlie wrap is an unobtainable item, or it would be if there weren't a few random ones circulating around. It's an absolutely useless item, but surprisingly, probably the rarest tradable item in Old School. The assumed population for this item is less than 10, and it appears that the bug is not easily replicatable because there's not thousands of these swimming around and, you know, people selling them on the black market or whatever. Now, in 2017, there was an event that was ran by Jagex called Wilderness Wars. 5 teams of 50 players participated in a temporary game mode at the event. Each team was led by a content creator that were known as generals. So Bodhi, MMORPG, Sicknerd, Torvesta, and Nightinator were the generals. Now they were given a unique wilderness cape for the event, and the only real difference between that and the normal wilderness cape is there is a halo below your feet. So 5 of these were given out, and that is it. It was an event only item given to only 5 players, content creators at that, and will most likely never be introduced ever again. So the population for this item is 5, making it, in my opinion, the single rarest item for any account in Old School. So anyway guys, those are the rarest items in this game. Over time, more rare items could be created, but we will have to see. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Now before I go here, I want to give a giant thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to Nello, Alejandra, The Hybrid, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed to the Dragon tier. Really, I appreciate it so much. Also a giant thank you to Kaitin987, Mexos, Base Titch, MDM001, and YoYoSub89 for being subscribed to the Runite tier. Appreciate you guys as well. As always, if anyone's looking for a direct way to support me, YouTube membership is the best way to do so. You'll get immortalized in all of my future videos, you can get a custom role on my Discord server, and you'll even know when all my videos are coming out. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.